Hello, and welcome, kind internet, to another of these mad, insane, what did we get ourselves into, what the hell are we thinking, crazy adventures. Tonight, we're going to start plotting this novel. And it's going to be great, and it's going to be wild. And we're going to be taking audience participation all the way through when and if it becomes necessary. It's going to be less formalized than just like names or tropes. This is going to be ideas. So put on your best idea hats because we're going to get going.
I regret everything already.
Naturally.
As a tradition.
This whole exercise is about making you regret your life choices, Justin.
I thought it was Bane of the Plot Mom, not Bane of the Troll King.
Clearly don't understand what's going on here.
No, clearly I don't. I blame you.
So, let's recap a little bit about what we decided last show, which is that we are writing a space opera novel of amazingness, and it's going to have 3 feuding families.
I realized that I don't have any of those tabs up onto my shared window, so I just fixed that problem.
Okay. 3 feuding families, 3 protagonists. Each of these family groups are going to be one flavor or another of punk. They are on a backwater planet that no one wants to be on, and they find out that a newer, better planet just got discovered over yonder, and they have a chance to get there before anyone else. But it's only worth getting there if they're the first ones there, because they don't want to have to share this next planet like they have to share this one. So it's a fight to the death to see who can get there first.
For the record, they're really just trying to beat each other out because screw those other guys. They can have this stupid planet.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have to share it. We'll have our own.
So there were some things that Allegra and I have talked about a little bit behind the scenes as life has gone on. First thing we talked about was, why is this planet so awful? So last episode we had decided the planet that these 3 families are coming from is awful in some way, shape, or form. Now, I mean, that doesn't make it justifiable that someone would want to keep it. So clearly there's enough resources. The resources are abundant. It's wonderful. But what we decided on is that it smells like real bad.
Like it really stinks.
Like sulfury, like rotten cheese kind of everywhere smell.
You can't get rid of it no matter what you do. It just smells bad.
So that gives all of our characters justification to GT the FO.
As soon as another option becomes available.
Yep.
Which,
no, as we said, the planet keeps them wealthy. It does bring in income. But I got to share it with these fuckers, and it stinks.
Yeah. So, we need some names for our main characters. And you guys have put up a poll. We put up a poll a few days ago, and you guys have been voting. So, today we are going to pick some names. So we got
this is the results of the poll. Sorry.
Are you there?
Am I here?
Yes.
I literally have. Okay, good. Okay. All right. So as you can see, we got 12 responses. Unfortunately, we did have to cut the timing short. I realized that Friday I have some outpatient surgery that I'm undergoing, and that's going to make it where I'm going to be groggy as sin and not able to talk.
Although, amusingly, we could always just make him write groggily without being able to talk while I torture him.
That's not gonna work.
Yeah, I figured.
If you want the words to be like, oh, blah, 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 sleep, yes, quack.
Hey, maybe that's the next Shakespeare. You don't know. It had a beautiful ring to it, Justin. Stay with me here. Anyways, back to the names of our characters.
So, what we've got here is for our Cyber Arcane Punk family names. We had a smorgasbord of suggestions that all of them got voted for, which was really nice. But Econo Farsad and Malin, whatever, Bishop got voted for the most. So they got tied. So we could use both names.
We could use both names, or we could combine them into one mega name.
I like it.
Because
this is why I trust you.
I really like Econo, and I really like Bishop, because in sci-fi there's just this tendency to call people by their surnames a lot, and Econo Bishop sounds epic, so that's what I vote for.
All right, so I'm down with this plan. I like this plan. I love the sound of that. It's powerful. It's cyberpunky. It's bishopy.
Yes, it is very bishopy.
All right, so next we then have the Bio-Arcane Punk family, where, again, we've got a tie here of Zabrina something, that something obviously is a moniker for whatever last name we decide, and Neela Godiva. Gadavi. Listen here, you. I'm white. What do you want from me? I apologize for anyone whose name I might have just accidentally butchered. So we have Neela Gadavi and Zabrina something. Now, I think Zabrina's a nice name, but I'm kind of liking Neela.
Yeah, I like Neela Gadavi. It's interesting. It's different. It flows off the tongue really nicely. But we do know that this character has ran away from their original family to hide among the biopunk people. So I think that we should use the other name as the name she had before she ran away and changed her name.
The other name, hang on, just so that I can, it should be this one. Where is it? Guillotine? This one,
yes.
You mean? All right, so that's the name for her as the ship, or for them as the ship, and then Neela is the name of them beforehand.
No, I was thinking Neela is what they call themselves now.
As ship
entity, and Zabine or whatever, the
Guillotine?
Yes.
Okay, and that's the original name.
Yes.
Okay.
Zabrina, it was the original name.
Oh, Zabrina's original name. Okay, so we're dropping this one.
We can use that one as her last name. The name we already had.
Am I spelling that right? I don't remember.
Probably not.
Brina, not Brenna. All right, original name, ship name, and the ship name is Neela. Hello, I am captain of the USS Gaddafi.
Exactly.
All right, so now we've got our ship name, and now this I'm not surprised it went anywhere near the way it did. Allegra,
because I picked the best names.
You got your best name.
I'm so excited I got this one. I wanted it so badly. I put it together and I was like, okay, if this doesn't get voted on, I'm putting in another book. I don't care. I love alliteration. So the character that I'm going to write is going to be Aisha Adebayo.
Yes. Now, what I find interesting so far is hang on. Adebayo. Did I butcher the spelling once again?
Probably.
I have a bad habit of doing that. Paste without formatting. Oh, I actually did, and I'm actually impressed with that one.
Congratulations.
I'm proud of me.
Econo Bishop, Neela Gadavi, and Aisha Adebayo are our three protagonists.
Yes. I still don't know how we're going to write a ship, but okay, we got this.
We got this. Don't worry. The ship will turn out to be the easiest part that we're both fighting over who gets to write every chapter.
Skeptical.
You'll see. You'll see.
You're going to give it all to me, aren't you?
No, I was actually planning on taking most of it because I'm really excited about writing a ship.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. So that is our character names now.
Now we will be
So
pulling from some of the ones that didn't win for secondary characters, random NPCs. We'll see what we
Space
can find.
Pirates.
Space pirates.
I
Okay, but
mean,
are we actually including space pirates?
I'm all for including Space Pirates.
All
Don't
right, good.
you
I'm just
include
glad we're
Space
in the
Pirates?
same ballpark here because space pirates are in fact necessary. All right. So, for those of you who are new and haven't been around the block, you may not recognize this. For those of you who have been here for my like endlessly long and convoluted lectures about plot syntax, this is my basic beat sheet. We took my 50K beat sheet and turned it into a 66K beat sheet because we did some research, and most space opera ranges somewhere between 60 and 80,000 words. So we are splitting the difference and aiming for 70. We know ourselves and we write a lot.
Is true.
Um, the colors are color coded based on a very loose, broad first take at what how subplots should be moving. So basically, we don't forget any subplots we put in. We will probably be changing this sheet dramatically over the course of this live stream. We'll first of all start color code coordinating things based on the POV characters. We will fill in what's actually happening here, and we're going to be moving things around and changing things a lot, and sometimes even like branching off into second versions of the spreadsheet just for fun. If anyone wants to follow along, in the description of the video, we have a link to this spreadsheet. You can jump in as a viewer, so you don't have to like peer at the screen here and try to make it out on YouTube. It's way easier, and you'll be able to see us make changes live as Google Docs allows us to do. So jump on in if you're not already, and let's get started.
All right. So the first question is, which character do we want to kick this proverbial peg off?
I actually think that this is one of the situations where that merits a prologue. I think that we should have a prologue from the point of view of the character who knows about the new planet, like the exploratory vessel that limps into town badly damaged. And one, it gives the main goal of the story. There is a planet out there that people are going to want. Two, it says getting there and back is dangerous because something took this ship down.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. So, working chapter name is Prologue. Yeah.
All right. As you start with, I can put in the description if you want to start theorizing about the first chapter.
Okay. I think the first act. I'm going to change also. Working chapter name is also going to become the number. I'm going to renumber these later.
Okay.
Mostly because that's going to throw me off the entire time. All right, so what is chapter 1? I think. Okay, there's the part of me that thinks that obviously the first chapter should start from Jensen's, or not Jensen's. Did I not put? I did not move names over here, did I? Yeah, I'm a dummy. Okay. Anyway, there's a part of me that thinks we should start with Econo's POV because that's the obvious one.
To me, it is as well, because if we start with Econo, we start from the point of view of someone who's done with this planet.
Yeah.
And these people. We start with someone with a really strong opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And that always has some good things. Also, because this immediately and irreparably disrupts Econo's plans in particular. If
okay.
we thought last time that he has a way out. He has a shipping out date. Like, he's out of here. But when this news reaches his family, we have this situation where if he doesn't go with them for whatever reason, and we'll have to figure out that reason, his family is going to fail at this. So he immediately is presented with this horrible choice where it's to choose his own happiness or his family's happiness.
So this sounds like, okay, so we agreed Yeah, guys, by the way, there's going to be a lot of jumping between different documents throughout this entire process. I'm only kind of sorry. So, okay, so we've got Econo that he is clearly the colony tech genius. He's going to be stepping up as the head of household, assuming he stays.
Yeah, I
What
think.
if what if one of the things he's dabbled in, like
Mhm.
as tech genius guy that could download anything into his mind, cyberpunky dude? What if he's their best pilot?
Well, I was actually thinking, what if he's their best mechanic?
Okay, okay.
And here's the thing that gives us a first act and then a second act tension. And we get a really good pinch point. Because if in the first act he agrees that he'll stay just long enough to get the family ship up and running, but then he's leaving. And if
Mm-hmm.
something happens to derail that plan as we're moving into the second act, then he realizes that he has to get on board because they're gonna go whether he says not to or what. And this
Yeah.
ship is gonna break down around them if he is not on board.
Okay. All right. So
Oh,
yep,
we've got
I
a
won.
suggestion that the scout was damaged by pirates, and I love that suggestion. It sets pirates up early, and I'm okay with this.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So, do we have? All right. So what happens? Or actually, I should move this over here.
Actually, I'm not opposed to starting with Akano, but logically, we're going to use the term causal chain a lot. So, really briefly, a causal chain is basically the sequence of if this then that natural occurrences that occur in order that mean that everything has a cause and will cause an effect. The entire plot should be able to string along a causal chain without any breaks, so that there are no logical inconsistencies.
Dark Lord sends minions to go kill Farm Boy before Farm Boy can leave hometown to go fulfill his destiny, following, ancient, wise master.
Yeah,
As an example.
as an example.
Okay, so go on.
So my thought is there's a ship approaching from an unusual vector. To me, the first person that would notice that would be another ship.
You're right, and I thought about that at first, but I tossed that out at least in my mind. In that, whereas yes, the ship would be the one most interested in seeing it, the ship is limited as to what it can do.
Yeah, so I think that the ship should be the next chapter because we have one family. One family now knows.
Yes.
So I think the next chapter has to be Neela looking through all the logs and being like, "Oh, a ship landed over at Econo's family's residence. That group, the cyber compound. That wasn't scheduled to land," and then go back and look at the vector of approach, and basically we start introducing the world there. Like I feel
Mm-hmm.
like Neela presents the milieu.
Okay. That's fair.
Um and so like this this lets her do some research, find out some stuff about the larger setting, about the larger universe, ground the reader, and tell her family that this is happening, and then take an action to find out what this scout is.
Okay.
So she's bringing her family in, or her adoptive family, and that gives us our milieu. And
Okay.
it really, Econos is very much the event plot. I
Yeah.
think that's the central one.
Okay. So, all right. Neela knows another ship entering the atmosphere in a strange vector. Begins researching. Okay, here's a silly question.
Mm-hmm.
Does the ship that the scout is coming back in, do they have an AI that Neela could interface with?
Yes.
Fantabulous.
Absolutely. And no reason to keep the secret.
And what?
And and the AI has no reason to keep this particular secret, which is open information.
Yeah.
Like, this is
Literally,
not a...
they're on their way here to report it.
Exactly. So, like, this is not a secret, and so the AI would absolutely talk to Neela.
AI and
I got given a craft ginger beer before this started, and it is absolutely delightful and spicy, and making me very happy while I plot this.
I am well, I'm just drinking tea. Nice headache halo tea, courtesy of one of our Canadian friends, Lisa.
All right, so next is Aisha Adebayo.
Yep.
And to me, that makes sense that Aisha is the character story.
Yes.
She runs a little shop. She's a parent. I think it just makes absolute sense that her character brings the, the personal struggle.
One might even say the personality of the story.
I don't know. I think Akano is going to be the personality of the story.
That's probably true.
He's already striking me as quite uppity.
Yeah. But the moment Aisha's kids are at all involved,
is there much goofiness?
I mean, I think that's when we're gonna get a lot of uppityness.
That's fair. All right, so let's talk about what happens with Aisha, because we have a causal chain that shows Akano finding out, and we have a reason why Neela would find out. Now we need to before you do that, Justin, are we going around and around in circles like we did in Bond, or, hear me out, are we moving between the characters organically?
I think we should move the characters organically.
Okay. I also think that we should have more than just the 3 main POVs. I think that this book is going to be a little bit weird, and to really show this colony of weird people, we should have random other people, even if it's just once, come out with their own POVs.
Well, I mean, clearly the appropriate answer is we need to have the heads of the families.
Well, yeah, heads of the families, but also random interesting people that we meet along the way. Like, the people that would see things that Akano, Neela, and Aisha won't see. Science fiction,
this plan.
Yeah, science fiction is a lot. You can get away with a certain amount of play, like of not necessarily following the rules.
Yeah.
Of some of the stricter genres. Like, you do a romance plot, and if you aren't either entirely in the heroine's head or going back and forth every single chapter, people look at you weirdly.
It's fair. Okay.
Now,
Allegra.
There is another thing, though. While I do want other people, I think that if we introduce a 4th protagonist right here, it's going to be super discombobulating.
Okay.
So I think that we should, for now, just move this one down and go back into a cycle before we break that pattern.
Okay. All right. I'm for this plan. I see where you're going for with this. I like it.
Okay. But first we have to figure out how do the solar people figure it out? Oh, and this is something I actually want to talk about before, a little bit of world building here. I don't think that this should be families in this sense of, like, they're all blood related. I think that they should be these compounds that every family in them came from the same previous colony.
Okay.
So, if theoretically every single planet in the solar system is habitable somehow, floating cities in the clouds, whatever.
Whatever.
And so, this is a planet made up of, those Martians over there, and you can't trust people from Jupiter. It's where your planet you're from, not what family you are.
That's fair. And I mean, like, by this time, I mean, if we're considering, like multiple generations, they're probably
Fairly interbred.
actually like interbred, like maybe like ninth generation removed cousin from each other, where it's not actually incest, but it still kind of is.
Yeah, just weird enough to be weird small town mentality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking for Aisha and the solar punk people of having a colony that left Earth primarily staffed by people from West Africa, since Adebayo is a Yoruba name.
Yeah.
So I think that that's their culture of origin many steps removed, because you figure Earth to other planet develops and does its own things for quite a while, and then a colony comes off of there.
Yeah.
So, many steps removed, but with some flavor of West Africa.
Agreed. Still doesn't answer what you're doing for the chapter, though.
No, it doesn't. I just tangents. Justin, this is tangent time. Tangent with me.
Oh, I see. I'm supposed to be tangenting with you to fill space while you try to come up with ideas.
Yeah, obviously. We're a team here, aren't we?
No.
Okay, anyone in the audience know what how Aisha finds out about the mass exodus that's about to occur and what it will do to her small shop business? First of all, I think that her expertise, whatever it is, needs to be absolutely essential to the final climax of the story.
Aisha's?
Yes.
I thought we were going to have the final climax being the destruction of all the other ships and...
Well, that's what I mean, the climax sequence, because you have to have every single character contribute something. So, it's clear what Neela is going to be doing. She's going to be the ship that they all land on. She's going to be the bridge, the emotional bridge between the three groups. She has a lot of just purpose. And Akano clearly is going to fix something or keep something from breaking or MacGyver something to save them all.
Fair.
Ooh, I like this. Aisha has a sister who died on the original ship, maybe pirates. I actually am going to twist that. I think one of the scouts, maybe she is covert friends with.
Covert friends with?
You don't make friends in other enclaves.
Yo, this is my secret friend, Dave.
Yes.
I don't talk to him much, but he's a scout and he goes off into the deep universe. But man, he's like my bestie.
Yeah.
It's like admitting that you're friends with the Horde when you play the Alliance in WoW.
Exactly.
Get out. That's not how this works, and you know better.
I think for the character who's all about, community, bringing people together, having her have one person that she genuinely knows, maybe because they work as a scout or as a, courier of some kind, so they're in and out of all the enclaves a lot. And where would you stop if you're in an unfamiliar place and it's noon? A little shop.
I mean, that sounds like then, okay, we've pretty much narrowed down that Aisha runs, either she runs a bar or, the most soothing Airbnb/yoga den ever.
So I'm actually thinking, okay, so we need Aisha's skills to actually work, And I
Yeah.
think because I'm a food nerd and I know such a bizarre number of very practical life hacks for survival situations based on my cooking knowledge,
Go on.
I think that she runs the equivalent of a diner.
Okay. 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 A diner. I hear you, Allegra. A diner. A diner. Okay. Okay.
What's your
Um.
problem with a diner?
Well, okay. So here's the thing that I have the problem with the diner. I think if you run a diner, 9 times out of 10, the people that patronize your diner, you do not become besties with.
Have you ever been to a diner?
Yes, I've been to several.
I'm talking a small town.
Oh, okay. You see, that was your problem. You forgot to mention small town.
I can walk into the diner near my work at the arcade that I worked for years, and I don't even have to give my order. They know my allergies by heart.
So here's the thing. Like, okay, from my experience at least, like, yeah, I get to know like waitresses or servers, and occasionally the host, but I don't really get to know the owner. From my
Well,
experience.
I'm talking tiny. I'm talking she's behind the line and it's an open counter.
Fair enough.
Could
Okay.
fit in a small bedroom sort of
Okay.
diner.
Okay. Okay. I see where you're going here. So she's the only
Terrifying with a
person working the
cleaver.
shop. Okay. So I was thinking something along the lines though that maybe she does run like a diner and like hotel, like she rents out like a couple rooms, like her living space is attached to the diner, that sort of motif.
Well, yeah, I think it's these enclaves are not enormous. They're not sprawling. Like I feel like she's in whatever constitutes the center of town and has a very small footprint, lives above it, has kids underfoot, knows everyone's name, and there's at least like 5 regulars that if she has to like go to the bathroom, they watch the register.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. All right. So we've got this scout ship that is limped in.
Mm-hmm.
So scout dude or dudette, friends with Aisha, goes to get a drink while his ship's getting repaired and tells Aisha.
Yes, perfect.
Okay. That seems good.
It also it shows a level of normalcy, which is
Mm-hmm.
really good in like in stories like this where you really want to set the status quo before you break it.
Okay.
We only have part 1 before they all leave, so we need to really establish what status quo is. So I'm thinking that the scout comes in for a drink,
Okay.
but the night ends up with like the most important people in the solar punk enclave all crowded into Aisha's diner, and Aisha just being like, I'm gonna need more coffee to put on more coffee, I guess. These are the most important people I know. They're all at my diner, and I should have closed half an hour ago.
I have made some terrible decisions today.
Yes.
I should have never gotten out of bed.
Exactly. There we go. All right. So all 3 families know.
Yep. All
You
3
know?
families know. It's the end of the world as we know it.
I actually think there should be one extra sequence in part 1.
Okay.
Because I think that if we want to actually write this well, it's going to take 2 tri-fail cycles to get off the planet.
Okay. 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 So one extra POV here. And I feel like this one really, like the next POV really should be an after like several hours later, should be one of the heads of households, and it really should establish the rivalry between the 3 of them, and it's all 3 of them like Like all of them are like two of them are conference calling each other, and then the third one goes to brag at the end, and just like, and then we get that antagonism there.
Well, I think that all three of them. Okay, no, two of them, both the Solar and the Bio, know that Cyber knows.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're both trying to do is talk to Cyber without talking to Bio and Solar, because you don't want to tell the third one out. Like, if you're not going to be first off, you want to be second. You don't want to be the last one off this planet.
Okay, so we're writing it from the head of household of Cyber.
Yes.
Talking to both of them at the same time.
Going back and forth between the conversations.
I mean, I really want that chapter to end with Cyber being like, hang on, hold on. And then brings it into a three-way call. He's like, bitches, you're both dumb. I know you both know. Here, now you both know you know. So go ahead and yell at each other. I'm going to go get off this rock.
Yeah.
Deuces, I'm out, Felicia. Which that head of household name was Jensen Altar.
Like
Altar. Where is paste without formatting? I wanted paste without formatting.
Just go and double click in.
That's how. Okay.
Oh, I like the comment. It could be a Hobbit situation with Aisha's shop, and that's exactly what I'm picturing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like, they're all pitching in, being very polite, but it's also so overwhelming.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you've got, in theory, like what? Let's say this clan probably has like 10 people that run it, with an 11th, which is the head, all being in there with the scout and Aisha. And clearly the kids are there too. And,
and like all the neighbors, because everyone lives next door, and like no one wants to be left out of this conversation.
Yep.
It's standing room only. People are standing behind the bar and getting in the way of her cooking.
Yes. All right. I'm gonna put a note real quick on Jensen's name. Head of Cyber, so that we at least have that as a reference point that this is one of the NPCs.
Yes.
So then we at least know.
Oh God, there's two. There's three.
All right. Going back to Akano.
Okay, so Akano, he knows his family is going to leave on this journey. Like, it's become clear. I think it's going to start off with, it's the day Akano's family is leaving, and it's the same day he's supposed to leave. And so he's like looking at like the ship he's supposed to go on.
I think that has to be the end of part 1. I think this part is literally just the head of his household. He's already said, go get a ship ready for us.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, I will, but I'm not going with you. I'm not going to miss my bus. Like, you guys I will get you up and running in, whatever time he gives them, like 48 hours, 1 week, whatever the time frame is. And he said, okay, I'll do my best to get you up and running, but just like after that, peace, I'm out. And so I think this chapter needs to be him basically like, if you imagine a movie and it's black and then you hear a whirring sound and then the back door of a spaceship trundles open and you see people like holding mechanics gear and dust billows out of them and it smells stale and no one's been in this for decades and it's a rust bucket and it's just a eye roll of we're fucked. It's that scene.
Okay, so this scene so it's Akano evaluating the new ship, or the ship his family is going to take, to find the magical place full of wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Realizes, dear God, they're probably all gonna die.
And I think he finds out that he needs a component.
Okay.
Because this gives us a sequence goal. They're all trying to get their ships up and running. And I think there is a component, whether it's a particular type of engine, that they know they're going to have to steal from the other house, because there's no way they can order one on time.
All right. A component from solar. I think solar should be the place. Because clearly, I mean, biotech's not going to work with cybertech.
No.
So.
No, I think solar makes sense.
From solar family, that they will have to steal. Groans and begins to get to work.
Yeah. Buy, barter, trade, steal. Like, he just needs it.
Yeah.
All right. So now I think basically in the next like 2 parts, we need to show what each of their obstacle to getting off world is.
Okay.
And then the next sequence, still in part 1, will show them getting through those obstacles, preferably like either making each other's worse or better, and we need to start communicating between the 3 of them.
That's not a terrible idea.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, well, the ship is alive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the point of view is of the ship. Well, what's a living ship going to have for fuel? Because remember, it not only has to be able to be enough fuel to push it through space, it also has to be enough fuel to keep it alive.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of those 2, I think it mostly works right via photosynthesis.
Well, yeah.
It has to be. Like, there's no way that's not a part of this.
Then clearly, the bioship needs the same part from the solar people, because otherwise it'll die and it refuses to leave without it.
No, I don't necessarily want them all fighting over. Maybe. And the problem is, if we have them all fight over one part, then 2 of them aren't getting away.
That's fair.
So I don't think that can be the MacGuffin. I think that basically a causal chain. Econos makes Econo run into Neela, and whatever that chapter does makes one of the 2 run into Aisha. Like, we have to start getting our characters actually seeing each other as contenders in this game.
Okay. So my first question then is, Neela is a ship. How is Neela meeting these other 2 characters in Solarland?
Well, we know Econo is heading to Solarland.
Okay, so Neela has to go to Solarland to barter for maybe a different thing, maybe something that will aid. Okay. So, in having looked up,
what if Neela just needs to fuel up?
That's fair, but
hang
on. Let me go over my idea. So, looking over when we were originally discussing this idea, and we had our tropes that we were going to do, and I was looking up the various punk aesthetics. I had to consider how solar panel power would work, because I wanted solar punk. I'm not gonna lie. How solar punk would work in space. Well, you can create solar power. The problem is that you don't have heat, which is what generates the energy from solar for solar. So what need is
the International Space Station uses solar.
I'm about to get to that. I looked up how to generate solar power in space. So what you would need is a bunch of reflectors and mirrors and magnifying glasses to funnel the heat and the light from the sun towards the things that absorb the energy so that it can power everything. So what if Neela just needs some new ones of those because, oh dear God, this is bad. I'm not going to make it if I do this. I'm not going to go for a long journey like this. This is not going to work.
Okay, so Neela's just there for a common thing.
Yeah, Neela's not there for something super important. This is common that they probably have regularly on hand.
Yeah, that it's a commonly traded good that, Bio buys from Solar constantly.
Yep. Yes.
Okay. I like that. And what if she sees Akano doing something suspicious and suddenly has a moment of existential crisis? Do I tell Solar that someone from Cyber is there looking suspiciously like he's holding wrenches in his pocket? I was from Cyber. I know what those wrenches do.
This is gonna be a bad day for
this
them.
Is gonna be a bad day. Do I tell Solar? Well, I mean, I married into Solar and I really loved it there before, someone turned on me, someone did something. So I feel like I should tell them, but I also I'm kind of loyal to Cyber. What do I do? It creates a moral, ethical dilemma for Neela.
Yes.
Introducing that she's had experience with all of them.
Yes. Skulking through the hangar and has a moral dilemma. I probably butchered dilemma there, so everyone that's seeing this can laugh at me and my terrible spelling when I'm not paying attention. Has a moral dilemma of whether or not to report the Cyber family's shenanigans.
And maybe she however she decides to report it, we'll get Aisha involved.
Okay. I probably once again butchered dilemma. Screw it. This is not here for spelling.
I know. I think I think Aisha wants nothing to do with the space travel bullshit.
I, of course, agree. I mean, why would she want to go? She's got 2 kids.
So I think what she does is Neela needs to, for some reason, tell her she needs to go to help Akano to get the part so that her people will stay put.
Okay. Hang on. Yes, Klaus? Klaus needed to stretch, and in so doing, pull on my entire shirt, as you can see. Kittens. Okay, so how does Neela and Aisha know each other?
What if Aisha is somehow tied to one of the higher ups?
Okay.
And is there when the message comes in? And excuses herself to go do this.
I mean, she would have been there. Wait, which message comes in?
So if Neela, say that Aisha is somehow related to one of the high brass, doesn't like that they're related, but are.
Like daughter or niece of head of household.
Yeah, something like that. Very much in a, oh no, Dad, don't. Lives down at her diner and, just pretends that she doesn't know them in public because they embarrass her.
Yeah.
But what if, because they're getting out of here, she's been dragged up the hill because it's family matters.
Yeah.
And she happened, everyone is arguing and she excuses herself. And then on the secretary's desk, she sees this memo from someone from Bio, which,
Okay.
And she's curious. She thinks, oh, maybe this is important. Maybe I need to tell the people in there that this just came in, but sees what it is. And then has this moment of realization of if they don't have this part, they're not getting off this planet. I know what I have to do. I have to help Cyber get this part so that we don't leave this planet. It might stink, but it's home.
About Econo attempting to are looking like he's trying to steal something or steal a thing.
Oh, another idea is Aisha could have once been a high-level operative of some kind and still has security clearance.
No, I only don't like that because we're doing this very like Southern family motif with this entire story, like or small town family motif kind of thing, where it's like your three big families are at war with each other in this like 300 person town.
Yeah.
So I mean, everyone works for one of them. I think keeping in that motif is what we should do, and not really branch out too far. Like being related is one. I don't think like being like daughter is necessary, but
I think there should be 4 compounds on this planet.
Okay.
There are 3 that are very exclusive to the families.
Okay.
And then there's the big one that is the melting pot of very tense social relations, where like the spaceport is.
Where the spaceport is, where like the primary like resource that is on this planet is located, where where the government body sits, and they all have to get together at least a couple times a cycle on this planet to get together and run things. That kind of idea.
As to the problem of do sort of idea of a 300-person town that has a whole planet. Yes. So I think that this planet, for ease of pushing them all together, has very little usable landmass.
We're talking like maybe Pluto.
No. We're just talking of most of it just sucks.
Well, fair enough.
It is too hot, or too cold, or too infested with blood-sucking lice the size of your head.
Okay, there we go. I was about to say, don't all lice suck blood?
All of your blood out at once. Like,
oh yeah, that's a problem.
So we're not talking 300. 300 I think is our kind of thing. We're talking, thousands and thousands.
Yeah.
Of which like 300 are actually important, and these particular families who have been running the show for ages. And it's like, if you're in their presence and you wear the right insignia, you're family. Even though there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people on this colony.
Saying 300 is not necessarily referencing there are only 300 people on the planet. There are many more. We're using that as a reference for like small town feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a small town feel. And I do think this like central enclave needs to be the place where like the diner is, and the place because of the spaceport is everyone goes there. It makes a lot of meetings much easier in part 1.
Yeah. Okay, so what I've got is Aisha excuses herself from family shenanigans and sees the memo from Neela about Akano looking like he's trying to steal a thing. Aisha decides, no, if I get them off the planet, then I get rid of all of these headaches. TM. And so goes and helps Akano.
Perfect.
All right, so there we go. There is our chapter 6.
Okay. All right. And I think that Akano needs as we're moving into the next one, it's kind of the getting off the planet. So I think the next one should be Akano, and then I think we should pull in a random person, and then I feel like we need to finish with Neela and Aisha, because we can have Akano in this chapter actually get the part with Aisha.
Okay.
Then we can see what the heads of houses are thinking now that this part got stolen from one of their point of views.
Yeah.
Then we see something from Neela and Aisha. And I think it ends with Aisha and
Yeah.
Akano. If we can go pull it all the way back to Akano, because if it ends with Aisha, her family going anyways, and she just, has to go, and then Akano like saying, okay guys, bye, and then realizing there's a massive system failure, trying to talk them out of leaving, realizing that they're going to leave with or without him, and if they leave without him, everyone dies, and getting on the ship. But that's not that chapter.
Yeah. All right, so here's what I've got. Akano manages to steal the part he needs from Solar. Thanks, Aisha, for her help after a thorough examination of the thing to look for tampering, because clearly that's the only reason a Solar person's helping me. Returns to install the MacGuffin into ship to get his family the fuck out.
Yes.
Ba-ba-ba. All right, so now we've got random Joe Schmo, right?
I think we should move to whatever the next head of family is. I think they're interesting characters who can show us a lot.
Okay.
And I think it should be Solar because they just had a thing stolen.
All right. We don't have an... Oh, wait, nope. Oh, I see what happened. Hang on. I'm a dummy. All
Something
right.
happened?
I put things in the wrong spot because I'm a dumb
for
boy sometimes.
Solar, the second most voted on name was Apollo Parsons.
Yes.
I'm okay with that.
Hold on. I'm so sorry because I'm a dummy. It's about formatting. All right, we had... Sorry.
This is
for
for
Solar, we had Apollo Parsons. Okay, so let me first put that in here. Just as an FYI, we have 2 A names for Solar Family currently of people with important sounding names.
I think that he goes by Parsons.
Fair
also,
enough.
we know that they're related.
Fair enough. So, okay, so if that's the motif we're going with, clearly Aisha's kids have to have A names for their first names.
Or Aisha didn't give them A names, and her father has never, ever, ever forgiven her for it.
I like where your head's at, Allegra. But that means we can't name one of these kids Allegra.
It's true. Only one can bear that name.
But you're not one of the kids.
No, I'm an allergy medicine.
Well done. Well done.
All right.
Okay. So what do you think Apollo's gonna be like, having found out that this thing got stolen off of... There's only one way this works. Off of his favorite ship.
Yes.
Like his personal craft. It somehow got taken. Like, not like personal, like super,
Oh, we have a question just here. I'm going to ask where the punk aspects come in. So, right now we're using it as aesthetic.
Correct.
I have a suspicion that every single head of house is at some point going to turn to their respective main character and be like, "Ya punk." But I can't guarantee that yet.
I mean, do remember that the 3 different punk genres that we are focusing on here, I mean, in the case of cyberpunk, you have a lot of, ultra capitalistic endeavors where the main characters are rebelling against that, which in this case, I mean, those capitalistic endeavors are a little muted, but Akano is rebelling against his family's ideology, which if you take that as the, cyberpunk, capitalistic thing that you're fighting against, that's literally it right there. In the case of Solarpunk, you've got Aisha, who is more impressing upon the way society should be and not wanting to pursue these terrible things and being comfortable with the life you've got, and is unfortunately, because this is a story and therefore to be interesting, is being dragged along the way to learn some more transhumanist kind of element, which fits more the solar punk aesthetic. I don't know about biopunk. I haven't figured that one out yet, but I can at least give you those two answers.
The biopunk character is a spaceship. That's just...
It's just transhumanist in general.
Yeah. Also, I think I have a new goal in life, which is to become a spaceship when I grow up.
I only have a bunch of jokes and none of them are appropriate for you two.
All right. So I feel like Apollo could have like one of three reactions. We're gonna take it back with fire. They're gonna take it back with fire, and they're gonna take it back. No, sorry. No. So we're gonna take it back with fire. Well, we don't need that. We're gonna make it work anyways. Or we need to have allies. Clearly, they're the enemy.
I think that clearly the answer here is we're going to try to take it back with fire.
Yes.
And my daughter helped. I have to find out if she's a spy, or my niece helped, or whatever Aisha is to Apollo. I have to find out if she's a spy, or if what her motive here is. So clearly, I've got to punish her by taking her away from her shop.
No, I don't think that should be the veneer at all. I think these families internally should actually be quite loving.
Okay.
I think the solar punk people are just too much for Aisha. Like, they're just... It's just, if you offer me one more cookie, I'm actually going to puke all over the table sort of family.
Okay.
So I think that her Apollo genuinely thinks Aisha had nothing to do with this and nothing nefarious at all, and was just, almost could have been harmed. I think it just makes sense that we have this...
No, yes, you're right. Apollo thinks Akano forced Aisha to help him steal it, and so therefore he is bringing his family member with him to keep her safe, because I don't know what those dirty cyberpunk people are going to do while I'm gone.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Apollo rants about how he has to steal back the thing from Cyber Family and burn them with fire, all the while ranting. Yes, I'm using ranting twice. I don't care about it. This isn't going in the doc. About how dare that cyberpunk touch his darling Aisha. She could have been hurt. She must come with me into the abyss to find the new home.
Yes.
I'm
Okay,
particularly
so
proud of cyberpunk punk.
I think at this point, at the end of that chapter, he needs to contact Biopunk.
Okay.
But not make it clear what he's doing.
Okay. decides to reach out to Biopunk head of house to discuss things.
Because
TM.
then it leads into a Neela chapter so beautifully.
Okay. I see where you're going. Because clearly, Neela didn't need much to be able to leave. Neela's literally just chilling for the most part and does whatever she needs to, or they need to. I think Neela's leaving the planet. I think Neela's the first one off. Yeah?
Give me a second. No, I think we made a mistake. I think that in Neela's first chapter, she needs to not find out what's happening. So that Bio is the very last to know. I think it needs to look like this is just going to be a Solar v Cyber, and Bio is just being played. And then we need Bio to just be able to take off right after them, but they need to be the ones late in the game. Because that puts the spaceship character as last in line and has the most ground to make up.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. And storyline wise, that makes sense with the with you know what we're going for. But the problem I have is it does not work for a causal chain though.
Oh, yikes.
Actually, it does. Here, I
if
fix
the
it.
ship doesn't
I fix
know
it. Prologue
Okay.
go bye-bye. Hide this. Neela starts.
Okay.
Neela is having a conversation with this ship as it enters the atmosphere.
Okay. But then how doesn't Neela find out about the thing? Because if Neela
what if Neela only is talking about Neela doesn't know, like, maybe Neela is only getting certain information from the ship?
Okay.
Or
All right.
something, maybe?
So then my concern then becomes the Jensen chapter then becomes, the Solar and Bio funny that's happening. The game of one-upmanship is lost between the three heads of household.
True.
And more importantly, why then does Neela go to Solar to get new? I mean, they could get new reflectors and whatnot. That works either way. But then why would they notify? There's no impression to notify about Econo.
Yeah. Okay, then never mind. I like the idea of one of the family just being behind.
No, and I don't disagree with you.
Viewers, can you think of a way to do this?
Yeah. And also, Allegra, Donald's question about characters going to be self-aware about their punk natures. I don't believe in this case that would be a thing. I don't think they know that.
Not more than, I am aware of my nerd nature.
Yeah.
I
know I'm rebelling because I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be like them, and similar normal teenage angst, except we're not writing teenagers.
Yeah.
I'm not defined by my family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we could break the fourth wall for funsies if we wanted to, but I don't think that's this type of story.
What if Neela doesn't know, but Neela becomes important suddenly because she notices a ship come in, and then all of a sudden the head of Bio Family is calling her. It's like, can you chart the approach vector at blah, 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 blah. Like, basically we make it so that Neela doesn't know what's going on, but she's damn curious. But the reader sees Bio learn about it.
The reader wouldn't see Bio learn about it in this case.
Well, it
Because
would
Neela would report back where it came from, or at least where the last jump was, or whatever, to how it got here. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they would know where it came from or what they found.
Okay, yeah. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you that yes, having the ship be the last one out would be nice. And I mean we can still do it. I mean, clearly maybe the Solar family decides that Neela is to blame or something, and so attacks Neela too. Because the Solar family knows Neela's probably going to be the ship they're going to take.
Yeah. Okay, that's a direction we. I do kind of like the idea of them just trying to sabotage each other.
Yeah.
Back to back to back.
So, I mean, we've gotten that Neela tried to sabotage Akano. Aisha sabotaged her own family and helped Akano. Akano sabotaged Solar.
Mm-hmm.
So Solar sabotages both of them by trying to set both of their, capital ships on fire.
Okay, so Solar knows it's.
And I could make it a good argument that Solar could be the first one off the planet. They have the most adaptable technology between the three.
Okay, so Solar is taking their backup ship, but they're leaving now, so they go and they rain fire down upon the two ships that Bio and Cyber were going to take, and they end up having to go on Neela and another kind of.
Okay, yeah, rains down on the other two capital ships so that everyone's then behind, but Solar's then ahead of the race.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Hang on, this is going to drive me nuts. Okay, there we go, much better. All right, so Neela.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, write it down. I'm just thinking through some details.
All right, Neela watches as the Solar family takes off on their secondary lead ship thing. And
Solar fires on both of them.
Hold on. Because I think this, at least for me, this little moment of adorable kind of naivety from the ship is going to be nice. Because all I can see is Neela saying goodbye, capital ship. I'll miss you. And then it rains fire down upon her, the other ships.
Yes. Yes. Neela is just I don't really have skin in the game. Good on you for getting off this planet.
I literally just needed to get repaired. I wasn't even planning on going. I'm just the most intelligent ship. I'm not necessarily the fastest, but I'm the most sturdy. But I'm not the fastest.
So I'm a cargo hauler. I don't do fancy missions. I'm a
Cyber.
And so that opens a question. The ship that Akano is repairing.
Uh-huh.
I think that we have to get them on that.
What if, hang on. What if Akano was prepping a ship for him to leave on?
Yes.
So hang on. So we go back to here. Instead of evaluating things he wants to take with him to leave and beginning to pack, is Ikano is working on the ship he plans to take to GTFO.
Yes. And when the capital ship gets blown up,
this is the best option.
And the reason Akano steals the drive isn't because his family needs it. It's because his family is 100, like, it's the drive he needs. And if Solar leaves to do this, that drive leaves with them, and there literally isn't another one of these on the planet, or will arrive in the next, 5 years.
Yeah.
So he takes it now so he can get off the planet selfishly, or Solar drives away with it.
And so the secondary ship just doesn't have the same oomph. So they're all on the same boat, except Ikano now has the running, power to get ahead of the game.
But his ship is literally falling apart around the really strong power source.
Yep.
I love it. That's perfect.
No, Donald, what I was saying is, she was caught, she was stealing for, Ikano to, trick her family and to cheat them out. And with the solar punk, or the cyberpunk punk, was meant to be, a joke. Because it duplicating punk for funsies and my own entertainment.
I got you.
Okay.
All right. So, 11. Aisha, unless we want to have this be Ikano.
I think it needs to be Kano. I don't think Aisha has anything more to say during this part.
Except for being pissy that her and her family are getting on this freaking ship in this game. But okay, I'm down.
Yeah, I think we can open part 2 on Aisha.
Okay. I'm down with this plan. Okay, Ikano Bishop stares in abject horror and dismay at the capital ship's explosion, realizing that his family is about to hijack all of his hopes and dreams.
Perfect.
At some point, he needs to be like, I walk a lonely road. The only road that I have ever known.
I feel like he's at the end of that chapter, he's just like, they take his ship, they fill it full of people, and someone tries to sit down in the captain's seat, and he's just like, no. I have clearly been commandeered, but you're not driving my boat.
I mean, clearly it's Jensen, who thinks he's going to take over the ship.
Yeah. I feel like just this is the moment of him like, okay, let's do this. And then punching it, and he hears the clang as pieces fall off as he exits the atmosphere, and he's just like, I hope that wasn't anything important. I knew I should have put a few more bolts in.
Because, I mean, clearly Jensen knows what his son has been up to.
Yeah. Yeah, clearly.
Clearly.
Okay. We're through with part 1.
Ta-da! This is part 1 of a story. We have thrown together with all of your people's shenanigans. I want you to understand that.
Okay, and that should get us to about 24,000. So
bad.
that should be a really nice first part.
Yeah.
It's a tad long, but I feel like we needed the length because we're getting off this planet.
Yeah, there needs to be more to getting off the planet. I mean, think of part 1 for Dune. I mean, if you consider part 1 to being all the way up to the death of House Atreides.
Yeah.
That's...
Really.
Yeah.
That really is Act 1. And it's a long one. Yeah, so, of course, Dune is a lot longer than...
this
is gonna be. All right, I think that's where we should leave this particular live stream.
I don't disagree. So Allegra,
Mhm.
I honestly have no idea, so I have to ask this question. What do we want them to vote on for this coming week to the next stream?
That was a definite thing that I wanted to discuss with you and beforehand, and then we forgot about it entirely before the stream.
Yes.
Okay, so we have some great names, and we have some pretty fun starting plot. I think we need the name of Aisha's diner.
Okay. The names of Aisha's Diner.
Because I think the entire center of Solar Town, like, transformers into their backup ship. And it takes the diner too.
Oh, I'm sorry, Class Boy. I accidentally bopped him in the head.
Oh no.
I am petting him to make up for it. He has
But
forgiven me.
how do we feel about Transformer Solar Ship?
I like Transformer Solar Ship. Okay, so what we're going to ask is the same thing as the last time. Over the next few days, if people will post in the Discord server, I assume Allegra has a link up somewhere to the
Yes.
Discord server.
In the link below.
Down below. Excellent. If you haven't joined, join the Discord server. And in the Bane of the Plot Mob, aka Slay the Troll King channel, please tag the both of us and give us your suggestions for names of the ship. From there, we will then compile
Not the
those
ship.
up.
The
The
we're
diner.
talking about.
Diner.
Okay, so I actually have two things I would like to ask of you: the name of the diner and items on the menu. The items on the menu have to be fun, quirky names of dishes.
Oh man, I really was excited to see what you came up with those.
I'm going to do some of my own as well. But
Fantabulous.
we want the name for this diner, and we want some great things served there, written in chalk on the chalkboard that can not quite high enough quality to ever really get erased. So there's just like always a smear of chalk on it.
Fantabulous. Okay, so items on the menu and the name of the diner, because dear God, this is going to be a lot of interesting fun. So yeah, tag the both of us, make your suggestions and recommendations, and we'll compile them all into lists, and everyone will vote for them. Probably come later in the week. Probably when I'm functional after
Yes.
after being put under.
And as we have been talking about this, we get excited about things and like working on them. So every once in a while, you may come in to see, some extra boxes filled in, or that we've worked a little ahead when we start actually writing. So we are not going to be able to realistically live stream every single word. What we can do is leave these documents open, which
Correct.
means that when you sit down in one of our live streams and click on that doc, you can check in as often as you want. You'll be able to see all the work in progress. We aren't going to hide anything in like secret work in progress folders and, copy paste it all in at once. We are going to be writing everything where people can see it. So if there is a bit ahead that we've done a little bit of work ahead of time, we will always mention it in the announcement of the live stream, and we will summarize it at the beginning of the next one.
Correct. So yeah, I hope everyone's enjoyed themselves. I know I have, and I'm pretty certain Allegra has. This way.
I would like to point out that on the last Neela chapter, you sounded positively giddy about writing the ship character, and I feel like she's growing on you.
One, they.
Yes, they. Right, thank
Two,
you. I'd forgotten that we had decided on that.
Two, more importantly, with this, nothing makes me happier than a little bit of naivety and then abject horror.
It is awfully fun. I can see it in my mind,
Fred.
though. Like Neela just being like, signal bye. I'm going to miss you. We'll catch up next time you're here. Ah!
What have you done?
And with that, the story ended. Solar won.
Da, da, da.
New planet. Anyway, all right, lovely folk. It's been a pleasure having you as our audience. Thank you for all the participation. I'm sorry I didn't pull as many of your comments onto the screen as I'm used to. I was staring at a spreadsheet and wildly imagining. So I apologize deeply. You had some great comments. And if you're watching later, make sure to check out the comments that people write on the side. They're more entertaining than we are.
No.
Yes.
No. I can't acknowledge that one way or another. My ego won't let me.
That's fair. All right, folks. Have a wonderful night. Until next time.
Have a good night. Bye.